You know, one of my favorite things to do since I was a kid is farm pond fish. I really don't know a whole lot about this pond. Talked to the owner who's good enough to let me come in here. We're finding out slowly but surely. And that's one thing I love, is just to find out what's in a particular body of water. And you can kind of tell as you fish little by little what's going on. And we're just gonna work our way around here today, try some different baits, and talk about some farm pond issues. When I saw this little paddle boat sitting over there, I have heard it's a great way to fish a farm pond. A great way to fish a farm pond. You got quiet power, you get exercise, you can get around to where you need to be in a short amount of time. Oh, that's a good fish. There he is. Daggone. You see that thing jump? That fish is a jumper. Hungry too. Boy, you messed my worm up. Some healthy fish. Be free. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, you can't get into any farm ponds anymore. Well, the only way you can get into a privately owned farm pond is to ask. The worst thing somebody can do is tell you no. If you go and present yourself as a responsible individual, tell them you'll pick up your mess, you'll pick up after people who've already been there, that you won't take any fish, that you're just there for the fishing experience. And a lot of times you might be surprised. Somebody might let you in. When I was a kid or a younger guy, fishing was all there was. It was all important. I didn't hesitate to go knock on a door and ask somebody, let me ask you this, is it important enough for you to go to the farmer's house and say, I will help you plant tobacco, I will help you strip tobacco, I'll help you work on some fence, and you might have you a place where you can go fishing on a constant basis. Man, they fight. They may not be, oh, that's a nice bass right there. A little bigger than I gave him credit for. Now, if you have a farm pond and they're a little bit worried about you not catching fish, you're catching a bunch of little bluegill or little bass, and you're just not happy with the way you're fishing on your pond, call the Department of Fish and Wildlife, 1-800-858-1549, and ask for their farm pond management book. Or better yet, let's go find a biologist and see if he can fill us in on what is the perfect combination of fish to put in a pond. Jeff Crosby, Central Fisheries District biologist. That's a mouthful for a young man like me. We've worked together for the last 52 years. And actually it hadn't been that long, but we have been here a long time. You have an interesting job, and part of that job entails working with farm ponds.
Yes.
Now, we just fished a farm pond today and had some good luck. It was a well-balanced pond. Tell folks what it is to have a well-balanced pond.
The main two species you need for a well-balanced pond are largemouth bass and bluegill. And the interactions between those two species helps you to achieve that balance. The bass are the predator in the pond and bluegill being the prey. So, you know, that's, a lot of people get very worried about the bluegill taking over a pond. Well, that's the reason you stock largemouth in, to keep them in control. So, and what you want to see is to have bass that are, you know, up 12 to 15 inches, maybe a few larger fish than that, and bluegill running 6 to 8 inches.
I've heard different results, but crappie can be bad in a farm pond.
Basically, the more species you add to a pond, the more complicated the system becomes. Crappie are very good spawners, and they can get off large numbers of offspring. And if you don't have a good bass population or a good predator population, then you can have a pond full of stunted crappie.
I remember working in fisheries, and I remember some of the questions we'd get on farm ponds. Everything from muskrats to leeks to turtles to aquatic vegetation, and you know, a lot of people call that moss, but there's different forms of algae. I tell you, you got something in your hand that pretty much encompasses every bit of that and can really help somebody out who wants to get their farm pond right? What is that?
Yeah, the department has a really nice little guide. It's a management guide for ponds and small lakes in Kentucky. It goes through a lot of different aspects of owning a pond, dealing with problems, nuisance, whether it be turtles, muskrats, crayfish, to managing your pond. It goes through about what to stock, what not to stock. And it also goes through some things about fish diseases, turnovers, fish kill problems that people will run into while they own a pond. And also there's a nice section on aquatic vegetation, on different methods for controlling, whether it be biological or by chemical.
Hey Jeff, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. This is a man to give a call if you got problems. All over the state we have district biologists who are more than glad to give you help. And again, if you want one of these books, 1-800-858-1549.